It is the Cerebral Smack Talk Friday night Cerebral Smack Talk live on StreamYard.com and on YouTube as well, as we will recap Friday night Smackdown live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, and more importantly, tonight was the jump off of the WWE Draft 2019. This is the hard draft, meaning the wild card rule is dead. It's gone. And tonight, the teams that get assembled are permanent. Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and let's go. We started it off with a match. Representing Monday Night Raw is Seth Rollins. Representing SmackDown was Roman Reigns. The winner of this fight would receive the #1 overall pick in the draft. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout, via disqualification, Seth Rollins. Raw wins the first pick. Okay, this was an excellent match. This was a very good fight. I'll even go as far to call it the fight of the night. It was a fast-paced match, good TV quality match, and as a matter of fact, I do not mind the DQ finish here. Bray Wyatt showed up under the ring, grabbed Seth Rollins, and pulled him under. That was payback for what happened at Hell in a Cell. And let me tell you, the fans were very satisfied with that outcome. And there was a little bit of confusion at the point. We didn't know what that meant. We didn't know if that was a DQ finish. We didn't know what happened because nobody really told us. But we later found out through the course that Raw won the first pick. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But more importantly, for me, this was an excellent fight. 3.5 stars. Again, I don't mind the finish here because this was perfect. I thought, look, what happened at Hell in a Cell left a major bitter taste in the mouth on a lot of people. But how does WWE repay us? By letting The Fiend show up, getting him of Seth Rollins, and getting a piece of him at the end of the night. To me, I got no problems with what just happened here. This was an excellent way to jump off Monday Night Raw, to jump off SmackDown Live, but more importantly for Anthony Florio, he is absolutely giddier than a schoolboy. Or your Christmas came early, man. You got the pick of the litter. The #1 overall pick goes to Raw. Damn it!
Well, I'll tell you, MF. You know me. I got to channel my inner body on this one. Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. And that's exactly what happened here. Normally, in a situation like this, we would call this an NA. However, because the match was really good up until that point, we're gonna waive the NA for this one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's 3.5. Here's the thing. It would have been 4, but of course we have to frown upon the finish there. 3.5 stars for the match. It was the fight of the night. I agree with you on that. Although you can make an argument for the other big match that was announced. Especially after what came out of that. But all in all, 3.5 stars. I mean, it was that very same arena, the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, Money in the Bank 2016. Rollins and Reigns fought for the then WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and we all know how that ended. And that ended up being a 4.5 star match. It was on its way to being just as good, maybe even better. But yeah, those two just worked so well together. And it was a very good match with appropriately big stakes. Cole and Graves did a nice job selling this match as a big deal and crucial to each brand's success in the draft. Both Rollins and Reigns worked this match like it meant something, and as a result, it felt like a big deal. The action was solid. The spear into the pedigree counter was excellent. The Fiend's appearance, though predictable, was handled extremely well. In fact, I'd go as far as to say, MF, it was the Fiend's most effective appearance to date. Coming up through the ring was a spot that works for this character, and it got the crowd riled up. Now, we're not usually big on disqualification finishes to important bouts, but I think this was the right call. Both guys were protected, and the Fiend got a little bounce back coming out of Hell in a Cell. And kudos to Colin Graves as well for clearly explaining what the finish of the match was and why Monday Night Raw ended up winning the first pick in the draft, rightfully and deservedly so. So score one for the A brand, and oh boy, did we stick it to you, MF. Ho, ho, ho. Did Monday Night Raw stick it?
Get into that in just a moment, Florio. Relax.
Yep,
we'll get there.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just setting it up. Pipe down over there. So, nothing really more to say on that. So, 3.5 stars. Now, I'm going to bring in Michael Bullock here. We had our SmackDown chat this evening. And during the match, Bullock said to me, "Oh, I hope we don't get a BS finish." You and your big mouth, Bullock. Look what happened.
It's you know what, guys? It's like Vince McMahon somehow was listening to me. Damn it, my freaking big mouth. Ay. But either way, I'm gonna give it about 3 stars. I mean, I would have given it the full 4, but obviously the DQ finish did take away from it. Now, under any other circumstances, this would have been an NA, but not tonight. I mean, I think they protected both stars, and they definitely repaid with the Fiend, especially having him come in underneath the ring. So, I definitely got to give kudos to WWE on this one. I mean, I would have loved to see a complete finish, but this is one time. Now, come to think of it, I actually didn't mind the DQ finish. So, yeah. So Raw gets the first pick, and I'm going to say this to you, Anthony Florio, and to you, Michael Flecha. If there's any hostility here, I just might have to put on my referee shirt and try to cool you two down and say, "All right, go to the corner, you two. You need to go in timeout and calm yourself down."
Good luck, big boy.
Yeah, good luck with that tonight.
Well, as the Rock would say, just bring it.
Oh, we will.
All right, Didi, what's in? Go ahead, my dear.
We don't need Bullock as a referee because I'll just drag you both out behind the barn. So yeah.
Oh damn!
Second apron, yes.
Hey, Mama, just lay down the law, boys.
Yeah, we're not going to have too. I mean, you can do a little bit of mudslinging, but we're not going to have it go to all out brawl. I'm not going to let it go that far.
Oh no, we won't. We won't go that far.
Just for fun.
Yeah, I know. All right. Yeah, I'm going to give it about 3 stars. It was kind of predictable to have the Fiend come out. But it was confusing at the same time because, now we have him on SmackDown and Seth hasn't been picked yet. But most of us pretty much figure he'll probably end up being on Raw since that's where Becky went. It was still very good. I'm glad, that the announcers did, straighten up the ending with it being a DQ. But yeah, I mean, it was still, it was an okay beginning. But yeah, I'd probably give it probably I don't know if I want to give this one the match of the night or the other one, but I mean, it was pretty close. So yeah, not much more to say about it. Fletcher's.
Well, we started it off the draft, and Didi kind of tipped the hand on 2 picks already. But, it is what it is. We'll go into it, guys. Stephanie McMahon is acting like moderator of the thing. She was the one to make the announcements of the picks. As many of you guys know, this year, this is different. The Fox War, we had a Fox War Room and we had a USA War Room. They were the ones that were picking on Raw and SmackDown individually. And so we had it. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with the first pick in the 2019 WWE Draft. Monday Night Raw selected Becky Lynch.
Yeehaw.
Becky Lynch goes to Monday Night Raw. Raw Women's Champion. The man is the number 1 overall pick. Countered by Smackdown Live. Their first pick and number 2 overall was the big dog. Roman Reigns is SmackDown Live bound. Great pick for SmackDown. I couldn't be any more happier with it. Then, pick number 3, going to Monday Night Raw. Now, this was interesting. It was the entire OC. That's right. You heard me right. AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson all goes to Monday Night Raw. They took them as a trio, and that's one pick that goes to USA and Raw. The fourth pick in the first round went to SmackDown Live, and they selected Bray Wyatt. The Fiend goes to SmackDown Live. And at the end of the first round, the fifth and final pick, Monday Night Raw selected Drew McIntyre. So, to reset, Raw gets Becky Lynch, the OC, and Drew McIntyre. SmackDown gets Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. All right, Anthony Florio, give me your thoughts on the picks and who you believe won the first round.
Well, I'm going to be honest here. Before I give you my thoughts on, who, won and whatnot, I got to say some of these picks were predictable. I mean, because some of these individuals were already pre-established on those shows. We only had one real shakeup, and that was The Fiend going to SmackDown. I mean, The Fiend was technically on Raw. Becky's been on Raw ever since winning the Raw Women's Championship in the main event of WrestleMania. Drew has been on Raw. So, technically, that was a stay pick. Same with Becky. Roman, he's been on SmackDown since the shakeup. So, that counts as a stay pick. And the same can be said for... I mean, all the picks were pretty much the OC. Yeah, the OC were Raw guys beforehand. AJ came over to Raw in the Superstar shakeup. Gallows and Anderson, they've been on Raw for forever. Well, not quite, because they were on SmackDown for a little bit. So, only one real shakeup at MF, and that was The Fiend. Wow. Especially with what's been going on with him and Rollins. I mean, I'm kind of surprised to see The Fiend go over to SmackDown. So, but I guess Fox wanted him from what I've been reading. So
Fox desperately wanted him, and as a matter of fact, Paul Heyman desperately wanted The Fiend to stay on Raw. Unfortunately, he lost. He lost out.
And that's and I think that now explains why they did not strap the Universal Championship on Bray Wyatt, which they should have the other night. But who knows? Maybe they got bigger things in store for him. I am hopeful, because no one has been more criminally underutilized than he has. Let's not kid ourselves. For the last couple of years now. So hopefully with him on SmackDown, they'll get it right and they'll utilize him the way he should have been utilized all along. Because we all know, no one, with the exception of Becky, nobody is more over in WWE right now than The Fiend. Let's not kid ourselves. He's the most over in WWE. He's even more over than the man. That's that's all there is to say on that. And MF, that's a big one for you. I mean, you got the most over guy in the company right now, and you got the big dog. I mean, that's a good start for SmackDown. McIntyre staying on Raw, that's good for me. I mean, he's been long rumored to have a Universal feud with Rollins. Maybe we can, get the ball rolling on that down the road. I don't know. OC. I mean, hey, I'll take the phenomenal one. Absolutely. I mean, it would not have made any sense for him to go back to SmackDown this soon. I mean, it's only been a few months since they put him on Raw, and besides, he carried SmackDown for far too long. Now, hopefully, he can carry Monday Night Raw. And the man, well, taking her number one overall. I mean, it makes sense, considering the year she's had, being in, winning the Women's Royal Rumble main event, the whole 9 yards. So I know she has cooled off recently, but she's starting to get that momentum back. So yes, sir. So I'll gladly take the man. I mean, just like AJ Styles. I mean, Becky and AJ, they carried SmackDown for a good 2 to 3 years. And now I'm hopeful that they'll take their success from SmackDown and they'll transplant it over to Raw. We'll gladly take it. So I know that hurts for you, MF, because, I mean, they were your two frontline soldiers for so many years on Team Blue. And I know you'll forever be grateful for their service. So that's all I can say on that. I really don't know who won, to be honest with you. I really don't know. I mean, I gotta consider it a draw here. I really can't put one brand over the other here because all the picks are great. Yes, predictable. Only one real shakeup with the Fiends. So that's all I can say on that. So it's a draw for me. So Bullock, I'm very curious. Who do you think came out on top here? I have no clue.
Well, to me, I'm gonna say SmackDown won the first round of the draft because and I think you guys brought it up. We had one big shakeup in the first round of the draft, and that was Bray Wyatt going to SmackDown, and I think him going there, maybe they'll have bigger and better things for him, because when he was on Raw, I mean, he was criminally underused. I mean, didn't really have that much big stuff for him. So maybe the Fiend going to SmackDown will definitely help him out. And the Raw picks, you could say, were pretty much predictable because they were already on Raw even before that. So, I mean, I do like the picks, but to me, I'm going to say SmackDown won the first round of the draft. So, D.D. Woodson, it's yours.
Yes, I would say SmackDown kind of won this one. But I do think it's kind of ironic that the first two draft picks are the two cover superstars of the video game.
That's true.
So, yeah. I mean, it was good choices. Drew McIntyre kind of came out of left field on this group. Because, I mean, we haven't seen him since he... I think he was out injured, so yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. But Becky being picked first, not entirely surprised, kind of glad she was. But like I said, it's ironic. You have her, and then you have Reigns because of them being on the cover of the game, and I think they probably did that on purpose. Then you had OC. That's good. That's a great group for Raw. Wyatt going to SmackDown, we knew how much Fox wanted him, and now here he is. So yeah, this turned out to be a pretty good group. But I think between getting Reigns and Wyatt, I think SmackDown did get the slight edge on this. I think the only thing that hurt Raw on the draft picks on this one was McIntyre, because I mean a lot of people just don't like him, and all he's mainly done lately has kind of been a butt kisser to Shane. So now Shane's gone. So now what are we going to do with him? We'll have to wait and see. So, Fletch, I'm going to hand it off to you.
All right, and we're going to go right back into the action, as it was Chad Gable or Shorty Gable going one-on-one with Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin wins the match at 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Anthony Florio, I'm going to give it to you. Give me your thoughts on the match.
Solid effort here. I'm going to give this about 2.5 to 3 stars. Solid match. These two have worked with each other recently to put together some decent chemistry. Unfortunately, this is just another instance of WWE's 50-50 booking. Neither guy really comes out of this angle having gained anything. Also, it makes me cringe to even officially address Chad Gable as Shorty Gable. It's ridiculous, it's lowbrow, bush league, and flat out bad. But other than that, solid match, no question about it. I'll give it 2.5 to 3 stars. Repetitive booking, I'm not a fan of it. Beyond unnecessary. So this feud is to the men's division what the feud with Natty and Lacey Evans was to the women's division. Unnecessary, repetitive, but these two actually gave us a couple of halfway decent matches. So this was a decent fight here. But the King of the Ring final was forever the best match between these two, hands down. So 2.5 to 3, that's the best I can go. So Bullock, unfortunately, Constable Bleepface gets another one here.
Yeah, unfortunately, 2.5 stars for me. I mean, it was good, but like you said, it's repetitiveness. I mean, we're getting sick of this whole thing. And the thing that really irked me, I mean, now they're calling Chad Gable Shorty Gable. I mean, come on. I mean, why on earth do you have to call this guy Shorty Gable? I mean, it's like you're picking on somebody because of their size. I mean, and you want to call him. I mean, I hate when people are being called Shorty or some other mean words, which I'm not even gonna bother mentioning because it's just downright offensive as far as I'm concerned. I mean, anybody calling someone Shorty or anything else that's offensive, I mean, should be ashamed of themselves and should be, well, as Dee Woodson likes to say, should get taken to the woodshed. 2.5 stars, Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, definitely 2.5 stars. Yeah, I definitely agree with the comments on Gable. I mean, I even said in chat with Bullock and Derek, and I think Fletch popped in a few times, that he just, Gable don't deserve to be called Shorty. It is very derogatory. And, anybody knows that, the four of us especially don't like, people calling anybody derogatory names of any sort, especially, when they have either a disability or, in Gable's case, he's short.
Yeah, his height. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very derogatory. It goes in our opinion.
And Dee, like you mentioned, when people with mental disabilities, there's a certain thing. It's the R word, and you know how we feel about it.
Oh yeah, no.
I've already posted my rant once on Facebook about that. I'm not going to get into that one because I see red with that one.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree that it's a 2.5 star match. It was solid. Don't like the fact that we got to see Corbin and Gable again, but yeah, I just don't find that calling people names like this is worth anything. And frankly, I would think, over here we would think that this would be, something opposite of their bully policy. I mean, they're big on the no bully policy, and then here you have everybody calling him Shorty. I mean, that's something you'd call a bully would call somebody. So I mean, you're kind of contradicting the one thing you say you're against. So no, I'm not real thrilled about that, and I'm going to get off my high horse now and hand it back to Fletch.
No, absolutely. 2.5 stars for the match itself. It was a good fight. There's no doubt about it. I am not going to address it. I don't think it deserves the light of day. And from now on, I'm calling him as Chad Gable. And I hope, Anthony Florio, you follow suit with that, and that we never have to resort to that type of tactics.
Absolutely. Amen.
I think that's the best way to do it. We call him by his name, not refer to it as Shorty Gable. That will be the last time you'll ever hear us utter his name like that on the show. And that will be a staple from now on.
Amen.
If he's drafted to Raw or SmackDown, regardless of the situation, we will address him as Chad Gable. And that is the way he should be addressed.
Amen.
So, nothing more to say. I'm getting off my high horse now. We're going to get into the second round of picks. So, to lead it off, we start off on the second round. And this one hurts. Oh, did this hurt me? Monday Night Raw selects number 6 overall, first in the second round. The Viper, Randy Orton, goes to Raw. Okay, I need to let that moment sink in. But then we turn around and we get number 7 overall, the first pick in the second round for SmackDown. They started raiding the women's division. They raided the women's division closet. And they snatch the boss. Sasha Banks goes to SmackDown Live. Then, with the third pick in the second round, and number 8 overall, Monday Night Raw selected Ricochet. Then SmackDown turns around and they select, with the 9th overall pick, Michael Bullock. Can I hear it one time? You know who it is.
Lucha.
No, not him.
I think he was talking about Raw, and this one hurts me.
Braun Strowman goes to SmackDown Live. At that moment, I felt bad for the Randy Orton pick. I instantly turned when I heard Strowman's coming to SmackDown. When I heard that, I lit up. I was like, yeah! I was even roaring at that point. And then the final pick in the second round, number 10 overall, Monday Night Raw selects. They select Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley goes to Raw. Michael Bullock, let's talk about the second round picks. Orton to Raw. Sasha Banks goes to SmackDown. Ricochet goes to Raw. Braun Strowman, SmackDown Live bound. And then they wrapped up round 2 with Bobby Lashley. It's all yours, my friend.
Whew, man. I mean, damn, Fletch. I got a feel for you, man. I mean, Randy Orton going to Monday Night Raw. Ooh, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what they have in store for the Viper on Raw. I mean, but here's the thing. I mean, Randy Orton's been on SmackDown Live for, I think, 3 years now, since the draft first came out in 2016. So maybe it was time for a switch for him. So, yeah. Now you got the boss, Sasha Banks, going to SmackDown. I mean, yeah, it's definitely time for a fresh start with her on a new show. I mean, she's been on Raw for the past 3 years, too, since the draft first came about. But yeah, and then, of course, Ricochet, I mean, literally staying on Raw. But man, oh man, Braun Strowman going to SmackDown. Whew. Looks like on Friday nights now we will be saying Roar. yeah, I mean, and then of course you got Bobby Lashley. I mean, yeah, I mean, man, oh man, I can't tell you who I think won this one, but to me, I mean, I'm gonna say SmackDown probably won this one. I mean, that's just my honest opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, this was another really interesting set of picks. Yeah, not too surprised with Ricochet and Lashley going to Raw, but it does make you wonder a little bit what's going on with that storyline. If they're going to drop it, if they're going to bring her over too, if they're going to have her and Rusev over there and they continue the storyline. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Strowman the SmackDown, definitely a very good move for SmackDown. Sasha to SmackDown, right there again, with those two going to SmackDown, bunch of new sets of matches can be made. Some that we haven't seen before, some that we haven't seen in quite a while. And same thing with Orton going to Raw. I mean, he Bullock said and he's right. Orton's been on SmackDown for quite a while. This will, set up a lot of new and interesting matches and seeing what talent they link him to over on Raw. So yeah, I mean, this was fairly good draft pick. I'm not too sure who I would say would win it. I mean, SmackDown's got a very good start to the draft. Raw seems to have a pretty good handle as well. So we'll just have to see what happens in the next draft round of the draft. So Fletch, is yours.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with SmackDown again. I think SmackDown definitely won this round. And what really started it out was, look, I'm going to say it, very strong with Randy Orton. No doubt about it. Monday Night Raw, you fleeced me again. You son of a you-know-what. I was not happy with you guys when Becky went to Raw. I'm definitely not happy that Randy Orton went to Raw. I was not happy at all. I was furious. Then SmackDown snatches Sasha Banks to SmackDown. I think that's perfect. Sasha needed a new look, new attitude. And for a number of years, a lot of people were hoping that Sasha was going to go to SmackDown. For a while, a lot of people were hoping that Sasha was going to go to SmackDown. We finally get it. Sasha off to SmackDown. I'm thrilled with that news. I wish her nothing but the best, and I can't wait to see her on the Blue brand. Then you had Ricochet. Ricochet's been on Raw for a while now, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna be too angry with that move. So I'm not too mad about Ricochet going to Raw. He fits on Raw. He deserves to be on Raw. Braun Strowman to SmackDown. Oh my! I know we talked about about certain guys like shakeups. This is a massive shakeup. And I know, Florio, you even alluded to it, that you were not happy with this news. I'm ecstatic when I heard Braun going to SmackDown. I literally blew up when I heard this news. I was down in the dumps after Orton. I exploded when I heard that we snatched Braun. So that was great for us. And then for Bobby Lashley to go to Raw, I'm not too mad about it. I know a couple of the guys that I was chatting with tonight, they thought that he should have gone to SmackDown. I don't really want Lashley on SmackDown. I don't think he would have been much of a factor. I'm not too mad about it. He can go to Raw. He's got a little bit of a storyline going on right now with Rusev, with Lana, that little lovers triangle going. So I'm not touching that. No problem for me. I could live with that. So it was a great night. So far it's turning into a great night for SmackDown Live. And you can even make an argument that it's been pretty good for Monday Night Raw. They got some pretty good names so far up to this point. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Why Strowman? Why? One of my frontline soldiers.
All
No.
fair in love and war, boy. You should know that.
Yeah. But anyways, slight edge to SmackDown because of the fact that Lashley has been completely useless since his return. So once it said that Raw had Lashley, yeah, that gave the edge to SmackDown. Even though we got Randy Orton, yeah, that's awesome. I couldn't be any more delighted about that. I mean, the Viper, when he first broke in as, Evolution and the Legend Killer, he was on Monday Night Raw, and that's where his career took off. And now we have him in the twilight of his career. We got the Viper, and I, for one, couldn't be any happier with that pick. 3 shakeups in this round. That was the one for Raw. The other 2 were both for SmackDown. SmackDown getting the boss, Sasha Banks. Great pickup for your women's division, MF. That's a big one for you guys. But, of course, the big steal for SmackDown was getting Braun Strowman. I mean, that one's going to hurt. I'll admit it. That's gonna hit me where I live, but, it is what it is. Ricochet staying on Raw. I'm happy about that. I mean, I can see some big things coming his way. Yeah, but Lashley. I mean, I'm so disappointed. I mean, I've been personally wanting to see the Bobby Lashley that dominated TNA when he was the TNA heavyweight champion, and he held all the titles in succession, and he was beating people left and right and the whole 9 yards. But that Lashley is long gone, and here's another guy who's been criminally underutilized. And yeah, you're putting him with Lana. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that, to be honest with you. But I'm hopeful that down the road they'll finally utilize him how he should have been utilized. He's just been completely useless at this point. But I'm fine with all the others. I mean, it hurts to lose Strowman. Losing the boss, I had a feeling. I mean, I had a feeling she was going to be SmackDown Blue at some point, and now she is. So it only makes sense because of her blue hair. So it only makes sense to have her on SmackDown Live. So nothing more to say. Slight edge to SmackDown on this round. So nothing more to say. MF, let's continue on.
And then we continue on with the show as we had a promo segment by Paul Heyman on the behalf of the WWE champion Brock Lesnar. Was later interrupted a little later on by Rey Mysterio and the newest member of the WWE family, Cain Velasquez. As many of you guys know, earlier this afternoon there was a big event that happened at T-Mobile Arena to hype Crown Jewel, and 2 matches were announced today. Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar. And ladies and gentlemen, this match is for the WWE Championship. That's right. The title is on the line. And then on top of it, we also announced Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman, but we'll get into that on another day. But yeah, let's get right into this, guys. This is going to be interesting. Michael Bullock, you lead off on this. Heyman money on the mic, but oh my, this got very interesting. Bullock?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I thought this was a solid promo. I mean, of course, Heyman money on the mic as always. Of course, hyping the big match for Crown Jewel for the WWE Championship with Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar. Mysterio come out basically translating for Cain Velasquez. Of course, we all know the history with these two. Of course, it was back in 2010 in UFC when these two went at it for the UFC Heavyweight Championship, and that was the night where Cain Velasquez beat Brock Lesnar. I mean, and you saw the pictures, guys, of, I mean, Brock Lesnar was a bloody mess after that. I mean, nobody gave Brock Lesnar a hard time like Cain Velasquez did. Now it's going to be interesting to see how Cain Velasquez adjusts to a WWE ring. We'll wait and find out come October 31st. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say on it. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a very good segment. Heyman always knows how to run his mouth. Ray coming out with Velasquez, definitely storyline building for the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. And I've seen the video footage from that match. It was a very very well done match, and definitely Velasquez definitely I think has Lesnar's number, or at least did back then, and now he wants to give him a matching scar on the other cheek. So let's see what he can do, and see if he really does once again have Lesnar's number, and if once again Lesnar is scared of his one demon that he has. So not much more I'm going to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This was going to be very interesting to see. Derek Ferreira even alluded to this, that he thinks this should be like a shoot fight. I think this has the makings of being something similar to a UFC championship fight. I don't think you're going to see much wrestling. I think you're going to see a lot of, I think this could turn into an MMA style championship fight. If it does, get ready, folks. This could be the true essence of a Be a Man fight. So we'll wait and see what happens. This was absolutely a very good match, to say the very least. And, I got nothing else to say. So, yeah, Anthony, I'll give it to you. It's yours.
Great segment here. Short and to the point. Heyman sold Cain Velasquez as the ultimate opponent for Lesnar, which is great for the sake of the angle, but a little disconcerting in the grand scheme of building the stars the company has full time. Cain appears to be over with the crowd. I wonder, though, if they'd be substantially better off putting this on Fox rather than a Saudi Arabia show that many network subscribers refuse to watch on principle alone. But here's the thing. Since they started this whole Saudi Arabia thing, the only time I was ever excited for it was when they did that inaugural event, which was that Greatest Royal Rumble, because of that 50-man Royal Rumble match. I can honestly say this is the first time since then I'm actually looking forward to a Saudi show. Go figure. Because you've got this match, and of course, you got the other big match that was announced today. We all know what that is. So, and don't forget Team Hogan against Team Flair as well. So, this Saudi show, if all goes well, knock on wood, could end up being their best one yet. So, I'm actually looking forward to it. So, I'm actually sold. Go figure. So, that's all I can say on that. So, Bullock, I mean, I mentioned it to you earlier during our SmackDown chat. I mean, first time that I can honestly say I'm excited about a Saudi Arabia show.
Actually, Anthony, he led off on the segment.
Okay,
yeah, so no, that's all right.
Then move on.
Yeah, no problem. So next up we had was a 6-man tag team fight. The New Day going up against the OC. Of course, OC now members of Monday Night Raw. The New Day hasn't been drafted yet. They weren't on the list tonight. They are on the list for Monday, so we'll find out what happens to them. But when it was all said and done, winners of the bout, 6 minutes and 50 seconds, New Day, they get the victory. So, Dee Woodson, we give it to you. Your thoughts on the New Day beating the OC?
Yeah, this was I thought a pretty good match, especially after following up the little Sue and G. Coleman segment that the New Day did. It basically touched everybody's heartstrings. But yeah, I mean, this was an okay match. I think I commented in the chat that, that they have very bad timing on some of these commercial breaks. But, you just get into it, and then all of a sudden they cut out to a commercial, and it kind of sucks because when you come back, you're like, okay, what happened? We've had those discussions before. Don't want to get back really into them, but I do think it really hurt how this match was going. So I'm going to hit it with 2 stars. But yeah, it was good to see, New Day come out on top after all the stuff that they've been through lately, losing titles and everything. So we'll have to see what happens on where they end up on the draft. So, Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I totally agree. I'm gonna give it about 2.25 stars. I thought this was all right for what it was worth. I was a little bit disappointed what happened to Kofi. They buried him 1 week ago. They absolutely buried him at Staples. But the power of positivity. He overcomes the odds, wins the match, pins the United States champion. By the way. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Is that a championship committee moment, gentlemen and lady?
I hope so.
I think so.
If they go over to Raw, yeah, it might be.
We'll find out. We'll definitely find out. So we'll wait and see what happens. But whatever the case may be, this is gonna be very interesting to watch. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. So 2.25 stars. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 2 to 2.25. I agree. Not much to this one, but a much needed rebound win for New Day, and more specifically, Kofi Kingston following last week's debacle. I appreciated Cole and Graves specifically discussing Kofi's positivity following the loss, but I still dislike the demeanor overall. Kofi's momentum came to a screeching halt last week, and he's playing it off as though he doesn't care at all. Perhaps this will lead to more character development down the road, but as of right now, it feels like Kingston will just casually slip back into his jovial character without so much as a second thought about his heartbreaking defeat. Hope I'm wrong on that, but hey, if this leads to a championship committee moment, I mean, hey, Kofi on Raw, I mean, I'd be okay with it. Question is, would it be just Kofi, or would we get the entire New Day? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. New Day, they've been on Raw before. They held the tag team titles longer than anybody over there, longer than anybody in history, surpassing the run of Demolition, that 483-day run that they had, 2015 and 16. So, we'll wait and see on that. Kofi and AJ for the United States Heavyweight Championship, sign me up. Abso-friggin-lutely. Let's go. I'm down with it. I mean, I think it's a little bit of a step below Kofi, though, considering that he just held the WWE Championship for 180 days. So, we'll have to wait and find out. So, but Kofi and AJ, that's a feud I can get behind. Oh, imagine the instant classics those two could put on with their bodies of work.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, it's 2 to 2.25 stars. I could probably say by default this was the worst fight of the night. So, nothing more to say. Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll give it about 2.25 as well. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if the New Day does go to Raw, and maybe they do get a shot at the Raw tag team title somewhere down the line. But we're just going to have to wait and see. So let's just move right along, Fletch.
All right, and then we go into round 3 of picks. Are you ready? Here we go. The 11th overall pick. The first pick on round 3 for Monday Night Raw. They select Alexa Bliss. Damn, I wanted that one. God, I wish I could have that one back. Then SmackDown Live makes their pick. and they select Lacey Evans, the Southern Belle, the sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans. Then the next pick, Monday Night Raw selects KO, Kevin Owens. He goes to Raw. SmackDown up, they select the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Revival. Dawson and Wilder. Yeah. Blech. Sorry. The Revival goes. And then the final round on the final pick in round 3 for Monday Night Raw, they select Natalya. All right. I'm just going to say it. Hands down, Raw wins. Raw fleeced SmackDown on this one. This was no doubt about it. Bliss, Owens, and Natalya. I mean, great journey woman with Natalya. She can go to either brand, and there's no problem with that. Alexa staying on Raw, that's a major upgrade for them. To get Owens is a big win for them. For SmackDown, nice to get the tag team titles on their show. Revival, I'm down with that. I think they'll be fine. Lacey Evans going to SmackDown. I wish I could throw that pick away. I'm sorry. I'm not sold on Lacey yet. I love her story. And guys, I'll openly admit this. Go to Up, Up, Down, Down on YouTube. They had a superstar save point with Lacey Evans and Xavier Woods. A must watch. This was very little in video games, but a lot in her military, her being a mom, and just the story she told. And she really uncovered herself in a way that she's never done before. This was really a deep, really good interview. And it was 25 minutes long. And let me tell you, it was amazing what she did. Amazing how articulate she was in that 25 minutes. She won me over as a fan. She won me over as a fan of hers. I'm just not sold on her wrestling ability right now. She's still got work to do, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Let's say that. But I got to give it to Raw. Raw wins this round. Anthony, this time your team, your boys in the USA Network up in New York, man, they hit some hard ones on this one. Can't argue with this one. This was definitely this round definitely went to Raw.
Absolutely. I mean, Alexa Bliss staying on Raw. I mean, she's been on Raw for a while. They kept her, which I thought was great. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm surprised. I mean, I kind of thought they would put Alexa on SmackDown. I mean, I would have thought Fox would have been going after her. I mean, I know she was all over the advertising on that, but hey, a big win for Raw here. Absolutely. I mean, that women's division. Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, when you think about Alexa Bliss right now, you got the Man, Becky Lynch, you got Alexa Bliss on there, Natty. I mean, Natty's she is the journey woman, yes, and at least that Natty and Lacey feud is over now. Praise God for that. Nobody wanted to see any more of that, even though their last woman standing match on Raw was very well done. So I'll give them that. But Kevin Owens coming home to Monday Night Raw. I mean, it seems like he flips every year. I mean, whether it's the draft or the Superstar Shakeup, but we've got him on Raw now. I'm kind of surprised they didn't keep him on SmackDown, especially after the epic win last week over Shane O'Mac, sending him packing. So let's see what happens with him on Raw. Do they consider giving him another run with the Universal Championship down the line? If they do, hopefully they give him a much better run, especially as an anti-hero babyface. I mean, that could definitely work. So at least you will not have help in retaining the title now, only his own help. So that's all I can say on that. And Alexa Bliss, we all know what she brings to the table. So, so yeah, USA Network, well done. Very well done. I mean, to have the man and fight and a Little Miss Bliss on Monday Night Raw with the women's division, that definitely changes the game with the women's division, no doubt about that. So major shots in the arm there. So yeah, slight edge to Raw, mainly because of Lacey Evans and Revival going to SmackDown. That's not a big surprise. They are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions after all. So you knew the writing was on the wall the minute they won those titles. So that's a big one for UMF. I mean, I know how high you are on the Revival, as am I, and rightfully so. I hope that SmackDown utilizes them much better than they got utilized on Raw. Even though they did have 2 runs with the Raw Tag Team titles, but they were both really cup of coffee runs. Nothing really special. I mean, they fed them to Kurt freaking Hawkins at WrestleMania. What does that tell you? So hopefully SmackDown will utilize them the way they should have been utilized since they've been on the main roster. So that's all I can say on that. Slight edge to Raw here. So nothing more to say. Bullock, Little Miss Bliss, and the Kevin Owens show returning to Raw. Natty staying, and how about SmackDown getting the Revival and Lacey Evans?
Yeah, and to me, Monday Night Raw won this one. They won this round. I mean, again, Alexa Bliss, Kevin Owens, and Natalia. I mean, those are good selections there. I mean, when it comes to excuse me, the other picks with Lacey Evans, that to me was a swing and a miss as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'm not going to comment further on this. So I'm just going to give it to Dee Dee Woodson.
Yeah, I'm glad that Natalia and Lacey were separated, but I can agree with Fletch. Lacey Evans not worth the time for SmackDown. I could have done without her. Yeah, I've heard the backstory, and I mean, she outside of the ring, everything I've seen about her, she is nothing like the character. She don't even have the accent. That accent's fake. I can guarantee you I can probably give you a better Southern accent since I'm basically kind of from that area. I know I can give you a good Paula Deen, but that's for a different story. Okay. But yeah, Raw definitely won, hands down. Great picks for Raw. Revival coming to SmackDown. Kind of expected it since they have the titles. So yeah, I think the only kind of low pick in this round was Miss Evans. So yeah, not much more I'm gonna say about it. Fletch, let's move on.
And we're just going to dive right into round 5. And this was the final round, or I should say round 4. And this was the final round for night 1. So here we go, guys. Monday Night Raw, the 16th overall pick. They started with the Viking Raiders. The Viking Experience is coming to Monday Night Raw. Then SmackDown Live basically decided that they want to fortify the tag team division and snatched the Lucha House Party. But all 3 members of the Lucha House Party, that means that is Kalisto, Graham Metalik, and Lince Dorado. They all go down to SmackDown. Yes, Mike Bullock, now you can do the Lucha, because they are...
Lucha.
I asked for that. Okay. Then, in an interesting twist, Monday Night Raw went and they actually selected Nikki Cross. So they pair up Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to they're both on the same show a lot of people were wondering, they're like, wait, why didn't they just claim Nikki and Alexa as one pick? You could have done another pick on that. I think Rob might have swung and missed on that one, guys. We'll wait and see what happens. Then, again, SmackDown Live fortifies their tag team division again by getting Otis and Tucker. Hey, pretty lady. Look at this, Ducky. We're going to SmackDown Live, boy. Yeah, Heavy Machinery goes to SmackDown Live. And when it was all said and done, the final pick in the first round of the entire night one of the 2019 WWE Draft, believe it or not, the Street Profits got selected to Monday Night Raw. Raw gets a tag team at the end. All right. So if you're writing this at home, you're like, wait a minute, Mike, who did not get selected? All right. Here's the people who are now officially free agents. These are people that will not be selected, and now they can go to any program they see fit. They are Cesaro, Akira Tozawa, Sin Cara, EY, Eric Young, EC3, Chad Gable, Heath Slater, Drew Gulak, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, and Tamina. All these people are now officially free agents. They can go to Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. Whichever show they see fit, they are allowed to go. They are free agents. They have not been selected, and they are ineligible to be selected on Monday. Here is the list for Monday Night Raw. The people that are eligible to be selected on Monday. They are Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, Charlotte Flair, Titus O'Neil, Shinsuke Nakamura with Sami Zayn, Aleister Black, all three members of the New Day, Kofi, Big E, and Xavier, Daniel Bryan, Bayley, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, The Miz, Ali, King Corbin, Elias, Bobby Roode, and Dolph Ziggler, Samoa Joe, Kairi Sane and Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors, Rusev, Cedric Alexander, Rey Mysterio, R-Truth, Carmella, the authors of Pain, Arkham and Razor, Apollo Crews, Andrade, Liv Morgan, Jinder Mahal, Buddy Murphy, Mojo Rawley, No Way Jose, Dana Brooke, Sheldon Benjamin, Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, the Iconics, Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, Sarah Logan, Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and Drake Maverick. All these people that I just listed are now eligible to be drafted on Raw. Not everybody will be selected, though. 40 names will be drafted on Raw. The remaining names that don't get drafted will become free agents and will get to go to any show they see fit. All right. With that said, let's dive in. Last Michael Bullock. I guess just give me who you thought won the last round. Viking Raiders goes to Raw, Lucha House Party to SmackDown, Nikki Cross to Raw, Heavy Machinery to SmackDown, and the Street Profits to Monday Night Raw.
I think Monday Night Raw won this one, to say the very least. I mean, yeah, the names you just mentioned that are going to Raw, Nikki Cross, Viking Raiders, and Street Profits. I mean, yeah, I mean it's an upgrade when it comes to the tag team division. So yeah, I can't wait to see how everything goes with that. So yeah, I'm not gonna get further into it. So I'm just gonna give it to you, Dee Dee Woodson.
Yeah, it could be a slight tip towards Raw. Both shows trying to work on their tag teams, and as far as separating Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, they may be done with having them as a tag team, and we may actually see Alexa's full true colors come out. So we'll have to kind of see what happens with that one. But yeah, definitely both shows got a pretty good lineup here, especially with this one being so heavily tag team oriented. So Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I know that about it. I'm gonna say slight edge to Monday Night Raw. They got the better tag teams of the two. Viking Raiders is really, really, really good. They were excellent in NXT. We already know about that. Street Profits also pretty decent on NXT. Haven't had much to see on them on Monday Night Raw just yet, so jury's out to lunch on that. Lucha House Party, we know they're more 205 Live than anything else. Heavy Machinery does pretty well for themselves on Monday on Smackdown Live up to this point, so no big surprise that they go. And Nikki Cross, that's the head scratcher of the whole thing. I think Raw might have swung and missed here. You could have just done Alexa with Nikki as a team. You could have had a choice for another pick. Cesaro didn't get picked. How messed up is that? Come on, Raw. Come on, SmackDown. What are you thinking? What, you're going to let this guy walk? Dude, all right, that's it. Cesaro goes to NXT. I'm calling it. I know that sounds a little far-fetched to me, but you just let the the king of swing. You let the great Cesaro walk away? You idiots! On both brands, you should be smacked. You should be smacked across the checkered apron, for heaven's sakes, for that. What the hell's wrong with you idiots? Florio, go.
Damn, Fletch, tell us how you really feel. Woo!
Well, someone's high on Cesaro. Well, then again, he's been high on him since he was Claudio down in ROH. Let's not kid ourselves. But anyways, I fully agree about Cesaro. Yes, there's another guy who's been criminally underutilized. Absolutely, we'll have to wait and see. But then again, MF, his little theory about him going to NXT. I mean, hey, Balor's back there for goodness sakes. So
yeah, it's possible.
Absolutely is. So we'll have to wait and see. Slight edge to Raw here. Viking Raiders makes sense because they've been featured more on Raw anyway, so that works out for us. I mean, that's a big upgrade for our tag team division. There's definitely, without question, I think they're going to be starting a title feud between them and Ziggler and Rude. That could be some fun action there. We'll see. Street Profits, wow. Which makes sense because of the fact that they've been on Raw, doing the hype, the backstage hype stuff. I'm done with that. I want to see them in the ring. I want to see them wrestle on Monday Night Raw. They've torn the house down in NXT. They're former NXT Tag Team Champions. Their big moment was when they won the titles in that insane ladder match earlier this year at one of those takeovers. I mean, we'll wait and see on that. Nikki Cross, which makes sense because Bliss is there. I know it was separate, but we'll wait and see what happens with that. Lucha House Party, I'm going to be honest with you, there can't be comedy guys if I'm being honest with you. I think you got a bit of a raw deal there, MF. Heavy Machinery, that's perfect for SmackDown because we all know MF loves Heavy Machinery. We all know the love affair MF has with Otis, for goodness sakes. You heard him mimicking him, so yeah. MF, we all know he is a big Otis guy, so it's only fitting that Mr. Otis is on SmackDown Live with MF. So Heavy Machinery is a perfect MF tag team. That's all there is to say on that. So Raw gets the edge here. So I think Bullock led off, I believe. So, all right, MF. Now we're going to have, I mean, yes, we're all talking about the draft, but there was something else on this show here tonight, especially this main event, that's going to have all of us talking at the water coolers, the donut shops, and what have you.
For the SmackDown Women's title, the champion, Charlotte Flair, puts the title on the line against Bayley, the former champion. And yes, guys, when Bayley came out, it looked like it was going to be typical Bayley. It looked like it was going to be, the fun-loving Bayley. Oh, no. What she did next was go full-on heel. She grabs a hatchet and destroys the Bayley buddies. She basically committed genocide right before our very eyes. Somebody called 911. Somebody called the damn EMTs. She's murdering the Bayley buddies. Call the police.
They have a family, for goodness sakes.
It was a murder in Vegas.
You idiot!
Well, then, once it was all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 35 seconds, and no! SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley, wins the title. Dee Woodson, oh my God. And then, to end the entire night, then Bayley gets on the mic and says, "Hey, bitches, you, let me get the exact quote. She says, "Hey, bitches, screw all of you." Oh my God. Full-fledged heel turn confirmed. Wow, what a way to close the show. Dee, it's yours.
We've been asking for this ever since she sided with Sasha Banks. We finally got it. And, I mean, it's not just the heel turn. She's completely changed her outfit. She's cut her hair, which I thought looked pretty good. Seeing her in short hair. She's completely, totally changed. And then, of course, when she won it, we got the new entrance music. So, yeah, she's gone full heel now. And, it makes you wonder now, is she going to Raw? Is she going to stay on SmackDown? Is she, her and Sasha going to continue this heel reign? Is Sasha going to change the Raw to a face? There's a lot of possibilities that can go here, just like there is with, Nikki and Alexa Bliss. So we'll just have to see what happens with these girls. Of course, like I said, that all depends on where Bayley ends up, because we haven't drafted her yet. So, yeah, this was definitely a very, very good ending to the show. It is definitely a new way to present Bayley, which, like we've all said, it should have been done a long time ago. When she first, chose Sasha over, everybody else, she should have gone full heel then, and now she's finally there. So, this was good. And so, yeah, another short title reign for Charlotte. And it's they've always said there's nothing new, and so now this, I think, kind of said, hey, look, this is new, this is fresh, this is something completely different. Bayley needed the change. She got the change. The match was booked. The match was really pretty good. I mean, they both went out there, did what they needed to do, and now we have a fresh character to start with, and it definitely cemented it with her little comments after the match. Walking out with her SmackDown title again. So yeah, not much more I'm gonna say about it. I'm gonna give it probably about 3 to 3.25 stars. It was a good way to end SmackDown tonight. So Fletch, it's yours.
SmackDown redeems itself after the disaster from last week and left a bitter taste in the mouth. This time around, they hit the home run. This was absolutely emphatic. How you're supposed to close a show, and they nailed it. To do the Bayley heel turn tonight was perfect. Gives her a new look, a new attitude, and now she takes the SmackDown Women's title. It's almost a given she's heading to SmackDown, and possibly Charlotte's going to Raw. That's a lot of rumors that I'm hearing now, that because of this, that most likely that means Charlotte goes to Raw, Bayley goes to SmackDown. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe I don't know who else they could put at that point. It's remarkable what they just did. This was a great way to close the show. Great timing. The body of work was amazing. The way that Bayley won the title was excellent, and then the post fight itself made the show even better. So for me, they hit a home run. This is how you close a show. This was a very newsworthy night, to say the very least. Congratulations to Bayley, the new SmackDown Women's Champion, 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion. I could give this easily 3 stars. Great way to close the show. Anthony, it's yours.
Aren't you forgetting something there, Monsoon? New champion. You know what that means.
History has been made.
Damn right. And oh boy, was history made tonight. Oh my word. 3.25, 3.5 stars for me. Okay, let me preface this by saying I'm fine with this decision. If and only if it does not lead to Charlotte Flair winning her 11th women's title in a matter of weeks. I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. If this was a vehicle to officially fully turn Bayley and get the title on her long term, then I take no umbrage with how this occurred. Very good match. Solid match. The second best fight of the night here. Good near falls, good action. A couple of spots there. I'm in full agreement with Didi Woodson. I mean, you turned Bayley several weeks ago when you had her attack Becky with the chair with Sasha and the whole 9 yards. And yet you kept her as the fun-loving, huggable one. Tonight, they finally, after 4 or 5 weeks or so, I don't know how long it's been already, but they finally nailed it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, we could have channeled her into Jim Ross when she did what she did to the wacky waving arm flailing inflatable tube men. That's how I call them. I think Bayley buddies are ridiculous. But it is better, honestly. Those wacky waving arm flailing inflatable tube men have a family, by God. Every member of them have a family, by God. That's all there is to say on that. So, but yeah, Didi Woodson nailed everything. The new look, the short haircut. I like that short bob haircut on a lot of young women nowadays. That's a turn on for me personally. I love that hairstyle. I really do. And about damn time. That's really all I can honestly say about it. I mean, should have been done right after she initially turned, but they obviously wanted to save it for the bigger stage, which they did here with SmackDown on Fox. And well done. I mean, I love the new look. The huggable one is gone. Hug life is dead. Now we got this new, darker, edgier Bayley with the bob haircut, and and everything else, and the new rock music that we heard after she won the title. And yeah, well done. I'm ready for this. This heel turn is going to do wonders. It's going to do wonders for Bayley. There's no wondering here. She's staying on SmackDown. She's got the SmackDown Women's title, for goodness sakes. Why would they move her? That's all there is to say on that. She's staying on SmackDown. And if that means we get the Queen back on Monday Night Raw, it's a win-win for all of us. That's all there is to say on that. If you put Charlotte on Raw with Alexa and Becky, whoa, women's division. Oh my goodness gracious. Nothing more to say on that. 3 1/4, 3.5 stars, second best fight of the night. The post-match was well done. The heel turn, very well done. Nothing more to say. We got Michael Bullock back. We lost him for a moment, but we got him back in. So, Bullock, I know you're with me and you're with Dee Dee on this one. Yeah, you did the heel turn. You did the complete heel turn here tonight. Well done. Should have been done the minute she turned heel initially.
Yes, definitely. But the most important thing is the heel turn is finally complete, and yeah, I mean, I'll give it about 3 1/4 stars for the match here. It was a good match. I mean, yeah, and Bayley basically saying, "Hey, bitches, screw all of you," and I was like, "Damn, Bayley, tell us how you really feel." And what she did to the wacky waving arm, flailing inflatable 2 men. You want to know what I say it was, guys? It was a damn crime. I mean, I understand the change, but I mean, but those things were fun. I mean, especially for us, Florio. I mean, she should be arrested for attempted. Well, I don't know if I'd say attempted murder, but
they had a family, man. Every one of those things had a family, for goodness sake.
Yeah, come on, Bayley. They had a family. I mean, how can you do something like that? That's so atrocious. I mean, I know if she heard that, she'd probably give me the riot act when it comes to that. So, and then maybe she'd take me to the woodshed, and then she'd say, "Screw you, a-hole." So, yeah. So the heel turn is complete. We'll see how long they go with this. So I got nothing more to say. Let's just move on.
There's nothing move on now. It's just the overall review time. So Dee Dee Woodson, I'm gonna let you actually no, I led off on the main event. So that should in turn go to Anthony Florio. So Florio, give me your thoughts on the entire SmackDown Live. So how did you think SmackDown did for week 2 on Fox?
Better than week 1, that's for damn sure.
Agreed.
8 to 8.5 out of 10 for me. Though tonight was centered around the draft, it was anchored by 2 pretty big matches, as well as a key segment for Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. I thought all 3 of those segments delivered. I would argue this show was a slight improvement over last week's debut, though it obviously lacked the star power. I thought they did really well in terms of formatting the draft. Unlike previous editions of the draft, this felt like a big-time sporting event. You could tell they were trying very hard to mimic the feels and aesthetics of the NFL draft, which certainly is not a bad thing. They did so with mixed results. The live war room look-ins were a fantastic detail, though I thought they were a little heavy-handed and overboard on some of the celebrations. It's good to present network executives as being supremely familiar with the roster top to bottom and excited to celebrate their perceived victories, but some of this crossed into the territory of parody. But still, kudos to them for trying something new here. I will give them that. As for the picks themselves, I dislike the way the roster was split up for eligibility. It's unlikely that anyone had a scorecard sitting in front of them to refer to which wrestlers weren't eligible to be drafted until Monday. So the result was a constant feeling of, well, what about insert wrestler here? Well, we already had one, which was Cesaro, but it's no surprise that Becky and Roman went first overall to their respective brands. Maybe Rollins and Lesnar will occupy the first 2 picks on Monday. Very possible. At first glance, it seems as though Raw is working with a slightly more balanced roster, though that is to be expected given the extra picks. And I did like that there seemed to be an emphasis on all major divisions. We saw multiple tag teams drafted high, and of course, a large group of women as major picks. But unsurprisingly, it looks like SmackDown may wind up aligning more closely with Vince's vision of an A roster, seeing as it is now the primary show. It's futile to judge until we see how things shake out in their entirety down the line. So for me, 8 to 8.5 out of 10. Very well done. Draft came off great. Seth and Roman delivered a big match. Great match there. Charlotte and Bayley, very good match. The Bayley heel turn, well done. And then the segment with Heyman, Lesnar, and Mysterio and Velasquez. So, major accomplishment. MF, you won this round, no doubt about that. SmackDown definitely beat Raw this week, hands down. So, 8 to 8.5 for me. So, nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, big improvement from week 1 for the new Friday Night SmackDown on Fox.
Oh yeah, definitely a big improvement. 8 to 8.5 out of 10. I mean, yeah, the draft I thought came out good tonight. I mean, can't wait to see what happens Monday night on Raw for night 2 of the draft. So yeah, you guys pretty much touched on everything. So Dee Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with the rating. It was, very good show for SmackDown. Definitely better than week 1. We still have the classic, thing with them of, they're very storyline driven, and they just have that way of, continuing that. Even though some of the matches tonight, really didn't have a storyline base to it, you still had a few segments, a few matches that did. So the, kind of weighed the balance out, especially with, the draft going on at the same time. Great start to the draft. Do agree with Florio on the fact that, none of us had a score sheet. None of us knew who was up for what night. So, that kind of puts a damper on it a little bit, because now you have all these guys that should have went over, for Raw for their draft is now free agents, and there's rumors on who would end up where. And my big question is, if Triple H says NXT is as big of a brand as Raw and SmackDown, why weren't they included in the draft? Why weren't they included in having a say of who their roster is going to be? It would make sense to, if they're supposed to be as big of a brand as Raw and SmackDown, they should have been included in this, and they should have been able to pick who they wanted on their show as well. But it is what it is. We go with what we're given, unfortunately, and we hear about it here on what we think about it. So yeah, there's not much more I'm going to say about it. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right. I'm probably thinking that we might hear something about NXT maybe on Wednesday. Because remember, once the draft is over, all the free agents can go wherever they want. Maybe at that point, NXT might start plucking some of those free agents that doesn't get drafted to Raw and throw them on their show. So who knows? This might not be over yet, Didi, and NXT might have their say on the roster. I know the current guys, or the current crop of guys that they got, is locked in. They're not going anywhere. But as far as adding people to the show, that door is definitely wide open. Look what happened when Balor jumped, and nobody saw that coming. So we'll wait and see what happens. But we're going to digress. We're done for the night. And thank you so much for watching this. Tomorrow night is another edition of NFL Saturday. We're going to cover all the games at 10:30 Eastern on Anthony's channel. So for Anthony Florio, for Didi Woodson, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Flecha. Thank you so much for watching this. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. And until then, Cerebral Smack Talk, we are out.